Hello, everybody. Welcome. We are live. Hi, Miss Kell. We're live. My name is Stephen from the Paranormal United Network. I actually am one of the part owners of the Paranormal United Network, and I am from the United States, New Mexico, the United States, and I am here with my co-host.
Hi, I'm Kell. I'm from Newcastle upon Tyne, England, and it's brilliant to be on this chat. Right.
But anyway,
So and
so yeah, that little
oh,
awkward silence.
yeah.
No, go ahead.
I've
I'm
been
sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off. Keep going.
no, it's fine. It's just obviously. Go on, you go. I'll let you go first.
Okay, let me go first. Oh wow. Hey, you know what? I'm a gentleman. I usually try to let the ladies go first and all that. But all right, so everybody, this is our new show. Me and Kel, we will be co-hosting this show from now on. So the show was basically thought up, I guess, between the network and my conversations with Kel being from the UK and me being from the United States, and I want to try to bring more UK cover or Northern England or England coverage to our network and try to get more people from that spectrum into the Paranormal United network and me and Kel were talking about some great stuff, as far as the paranormal. I mean, she's got a great mind in the paranormal. Cal, go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience. You know who you are, where what you've done, where you're from. I mean, you already said where you're
Okay.
from, but I mean, what do you do?
Basically, I've been a historical researcher and paranormal investigator for 10 years, but I've been interested in the paranormal ever since I was a kid, since I was like about 10 years old. I had my first paranormal experience around about then, so that's what kick-started it off, and I've been interested in ever since. Basically, I've worked as a bouncer as well for 20 years, so a lot of the bars and the clubs that I've worked in, like a lot of them have had paranormal activity, so it's been quite interesting some of the stuff that I've actually seen. So, but
Mm.
yeah, it's quite interesting. I love the history of it though. That's one thing that I do actually really love. And what I love about it is like, well, what era love is the Tudor era. And being from the UK, we have a hell of a lot of history. As everybody knows, we've got like castles that date back to like the 700s, 1200s. So obviously, there's a lot
It's
of
see that's interesting, and you bring up the castles, 17, 1800s. You bring that up. So we're talking about cultural differences here. I mean, you've got 1800s, that's medieval times, I guess you'd say, with the castles and stuff like that. Here in the United States, and after me telling you, you said you didn't know about it, but we have what you call old Spanish missions out here, and they're built
yeah,
like castles, and they're built from the land itself. And I mean, I don't know, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours away from one of those ruins, and I mean, it's built almost to the specs of a European castle. But these Spanish missions, they were there for the conquistadors and all that when they come and conquered the West, to take over the Native American lands, or not take it over, but kind of uh, be like an outpost where they would
yeah,
come in, try to communicate and create some type of comradeship, I guess, between the local people, whatever, and help them out, trade and borrow and bring stuff from Europe and stuff like that. But it's like I said, between the culture, we have like Spanish missions. You guys have castles. Tell me a little bit more about your castles.
Well, we've got one here in Newcastle. That's where the name derived from. And basically, I think it was around about in the 1800s. Somebody got a brilliant idea that they were going to throw a donkey off the top of the castle, to see if it could fly. So he got a crowd down the bottom to watch, and he put some paper wings on the donkey, and he threw it off the top of the castle. The donkey didn't fly; it actually landed on top of spectators. It survived, but it killed a man. But that was just one of the funny story about the castles. We do have quite a few in our area. We've got Warkworth Castle. That's just up the Northumberland coast. Dunsonborough Castle. Alnwick Castle, where my daughter used to work in Alnwick Castle. And apparently there was like tales of vampires and stuff that was meant to be in that castle.
Fascinating,
And
fascinating.
yeah, like I say, I mean, if you're going back down south, you're talking about like the Tower of London, which that dates back. I think it's like the original parts of it from the Roman times. So like, there's
Right.
absolutely thousands of years worth of history under some of these castles.
All right. So, I mean, you got your castles and stuff like that, but you and I actually had a conversation, and you said that you live like right across, like right by Hadrian's Wall.
Yeah,
That
uh,
to me, that's fascinating.
yeah, yeah. Basically, I've lived virtually near Hadrian's Wall my whole entire life. I was brought up in a place called Walker, which means marsh by the wall. And when I used to live in the house 10 years ago, it ran underneath a street, the bottom end of a street. Then I moved, and then I come back to Newcastle, and it's like directly at the top of a street at the other end of the city this time though. And it runs directly under my daughter's house as well. So there's, like I say, there's a lot of history of Hadrian's Wall. Anybody that doesn't know about it, it stretches all the way from the Solway Firth and next to Carlisle, all the way through to Wallsend. And I think it's about 73 miles long. And obviously, it was built by the Romans for the Emperor Hadrian. So there's a hell of
Right.
a lot of history, like, yeah, associated with it.
Wow. So that's kind of. I know I know why the Romans made it and all that. Hi, George. I'm gonna take a second and kind of welcome people into the chat that's over here in the chat right now. And I got a name up there. Could you introduce that name?
Kirby.
Uh,
Yeah, Kirby's
yeah.
my daughter. It's just obviously the one that says hello, mum.
All right. So yeah, I just want to let you give her a quick shout out, and we have Glenn Richardson also in, and he
Yeah,
says hi, Kel and Stephen, and hello. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here on the show. And
hi Glenn.
oh, one of my faithfuls, Miss Irene Takora from Japan, and she's a wonderful lady. And thank you, Irene, for supporting us. I know you're on the YouTube right now because you can't be on Facebook. She and oh man, check this out. This is one of my it's like my best friend here. I don't know if you know the guy, but his name's George Shoplin. He's from California. He lives in kind of outside of San Francisco in a way, Brentwood. He was on the show. You watch Ghost Adventures?
Yes, I've seen quite a few of them in the past.
Yeah, he was on the episode Kennedy Mine. Him, yeah, he's a great guy. Great guy. Matter of fact, I just did a Para Unity event with him in Mineral Wells, Texas. And I know, like you guys over there in England, you guys do Para Unity events and stuff like that all the time too. But yeah, me and George, we were guest speakers at this event, and oh man, you're talking about feeling the love, and yeah, that's another thing. That's what this is all about. We're trying to bring everybody together.
Yeah,
Uh, Kill all that hate, all that stuff, and I'm the last one to be talking about all that, but I am. We're done. We're done with all that stuff, and we're trying to be one big family. And the purpose of getting all of us together is so we can share information, share our answers, and uh, you know, share our thoughts, our process of you know you may be puzzled about something like Kel. You may go on an investigation where you're at, and you come up with all this stuff, and you're like, I can't explain it. Well, you have this network that we have here of lots of amazing people. I could sit here
yeah,
all day long and just shout people out. Uh, our biggest one's Miss Courtney Peterson. She's has runs this network basically. Me and my wife, my wife Crystal, which she's on a show called Hey Boo on this network, and it was on yesterday. And we own the network, and then we got several people that are co-owners and leadership, and just wonderful people. And I know you got to meet a few of them, right, Kel?
Yes, yes, there are quite a few of them actually.
What do you think about them? The crazy people.
Oh, definitely crazy. Yeah, yeah, but I mean, they're all good people at the same time. They've really welcomed me, and so yeah, they're like I say, they're absolutely amazing people.
Wow, we got a lot of people from the UK in here tonight. You really brought the crowd. And yeah, you did. Wow. Yeah, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for being on our show. And like tonight, what we're doing tonight, we're just introducing ourselves, kind of breaking the air, breaking the ice, letting you know. Of course, I haven't done live shows since. Oh man, it's been almost 2 years since I left Paranormal Warehouse when I was a show host there. But I own this network, and we got plenty of shows on here, and that's what I did. I was kind of help new people start in video casting or vodcasting is what we call it, not podcasting because we don't do it on the radio, but we do it on Facebook and YouTube and stuff like that. So we call it vodcasting. So that's what we do is we want people that don't have a voice out there have a voice, and that's what these shows are for. And I met Kel. I met you through TikTok on one of your ghost hunting group, and you actually
Yeah,
spoke to me, and I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" And we started talking paranormal. We started talking shop, and that's I mean, yeah. Um,
yeah,
and then of course you were kind of curious about the things that we did, what me and my wife does on investigations and stuff like that, and we just kind of hit it off that way. And bringing to my mind, I'm like, let's. Um, I mean, I'll be honest with you. A lot of the teams and stuff I met over in the UK in the past, they were I don't know how to explain it. They wasn't really welcoming, if that makes any
yes,
sense.
I understand that.
But now, with you, I mean, you were very welcoming. I'm like, that's an idea. Hey, let's bring everybody together. Let's bring both sides together and do this.
Yeah, that's just a Geordie thing, though. It's like not a whole of England thing.
Yeah,
apparently,
yeah.
apparently, us
I've heard
Geordies are
about the
meant to be
teams.
like. Sorry.
Oh, so I've heard about some of the teams over there and what things they do and stuff like that. And hi,
Yeah.
Miss Chrissy Baggett, Miss Loud Chrissy Baggett. See, if she was in here, she'd be going, listen, Kale.
Mhm.
but, but yeah, that's my sister. That's one of my sisters. Trying to go through the comments and to see everybody's just kind of welcoming each other and getting to know each other in the comments in the chat. What is this one? I'm just trying to. Yeah, if you guys have any questions for me or Kel, be more than welcome to post them in the comments, and we'll answer the best we can. Insane
There was
Asylum
one thing I was going to
podcast.
say about
Okay.
some of the teams over here as well, is basically in the last 10 years, there's been an increase in, like, obviously people wanting to be scared. So they've basically been paying like paranormal teams to do events for them and stuff like that. So basically, the serious researchers can't get a look in anywhere because obviously they're going to be charged an absolute fortune to do some research. So that's one of the things that's been happening a lot over here that I've noticed.
Yeah, I mean that what they're upcharging and stuff like that for. You were telling me like just to go into one of those castles, it was like, man, it was like, I mean, it would take my. I mean, first of all, I'm coming from America, so it's going to take I don't know a couple of paychecks just to get there and have a place
Yeah,
to stay. And what the amount of money that you were telling me that they were wanting, I'm like, man, that's not doable. It's not
yeah.
doable for any of
It's
us.
the castles basically is absolutely extraordinary. It's like £2,000 like for a few hours. So
Wow.
it's absolutely you cannot do it. So I mean, there's other places that's charging like £600-700, like well-known paranormal places. So
That's
it's like
unbelievable.
normal small teams and that can't do it. So what we usually do is we'll find like an abandoned castle somewhere and we'll just go there. Obviously, you have to climb a fence or whatever as you do, and just like usually go there and investigate that instead. And it's just as good. And instead of having to pay an absolute fortune for these like castles that, you know what I mean, that probably you won't
But
get anything, but
well, I mean,
it's
it's worth a shot. If you want to be a researcher, I mean, yeah. I mean, over here in the United States, I guess we have a little bit different rules over here as far as like trespassing. We could get arrested for jumping fences and stuff like that. So it, for us, it's just no, we just don't do that unless it's like completely abandoned. We have certain state laws here, actually, like here in New Mexico, if there's a property and it only has two strands of barbed wire, only two
right.
strands, it's not considered trespassing to go over that fence. But if it has more than two strands, it's considered trespassing, and that's in the
Mm.
state law. So, and people take advantage of that, of course. But um, yeah, that's amazing that they're charging those prices for those places. Like that's not even doable for any of us. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a trip over there. But if any of you guys want to come to the states, oh my God, do I have some places for you guys? I
Oh
mean, I've
yeah.
got I've got a place right now called Old Park Hotel in Ballinger, Texas. It's legit haunted. Um, it's $300 a night, and the thing about $300 a night, that's up to I think 18 people. If you have a team, I mean, it's not really worth having a team there that big. But if you have up, I think it's 18 people or maybe 12, up to 12 people, I think, or something like that for 300 a night to investigate. But the thing is, you get to spend a night there. They actually make the beds for you. You can sleep in the beds,
Well,
and stuff like that. And it used to be a bordello back in the 1800s. This building was way back in the day. Um, and yeah, it's that places like that. I mean, I've got plenty of places that are less than $500 to investigate per night, and we're talking about 7 p.m. at night to 5 a.m. in the morning. That's the time span you get on most of the investigative places we have here.
right. Hmm.
Only
Just by
two,
the way, I
yeah.
just want to give a shout out to Simon. He's my son-in-law. He's just popped on to say hello. So hello, Simon and Trish.
Yeah, there he is right there. Simon Anderson.
Yeah, yeah, it's my son-in-law. I had to blackmail him to come on
Nice to
to.
meet you. Nice to meet you. Yeah. So I mean, most times, I mean, like I said, it's been 2 years since I've done a podcast, so I don't even know how to act anymore. Usually, I just I'm guest on other people. Sometimes we just sit back and cut up. Plus, some of the shows we have on the network, or we have some stuff on here we call paranormal comedy, where we just sit back and talk about absolutely nothing paranormal, like
Yeah,
nothing paranormal whatsoever. But we're just acting like us. Um, we're just being us. We're just being people, showing that we're human. We laugh. Uh, we cry. We have emotional times.
yeah.
And Glenn said he would love to go investigate the U.S. And we got one here. Do investigations, but locally expanded. And they're nonprofit. Have been to in Kansas. Oh, you've been to the McIntyre. Oh wow. Last night in our tour at State Reserve. Oh, absolutely. So I mean, how? I mean, it's definitely uh, be a difference from our locations in the United States compared to UK. I mean, basically, you just said it right there. That's a shame. So I mean, that's what we're here at this network. I want to try to get more stuff in the UK. I want to try to get more people in the UK, and we can go and try to get into these places. And like, hey, you know what? You got people from the United States that are on TV and stuff like that. They're known people. But hey, man, we can't afford to come into your buildings. You gotta give us a deal. You gotta do something. So maybe we can start something with that.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yep.
So, what have you actually got around your area, like as in like history wise and stuff like that, like for the paranormal as well?
Okay, so where I live in Carlsbad, New Mexico. Right directly behind my house is Carlsbad Caverns. It's in the mountains. or where it starts into the Guadalupe Mountains, and that's a mountain range that goes from New Mexico down into Texas, and the Texas border is only 12 miles south of my house, but I'm in New Mexico. So back there is Carlsbad Caverns. It's like the one of the largest. Oh wow, hi JC. Some of the largest caverns in the United States. So back in those mountains and hills, there's haunted spots back there. So let's say back in 1800s, 1700s, or back in the old West days, you had a lot of Native Americans around here. So there's a place directly by my house, about 7 miles, called Skinwalker Cave, and that place is, man, I don't know. I'm still. I want to go do a documentary about it. I actually want to film a documentary
You
about it.
should.
I actually want to go. Break. Yeah, yeah. I've took some people there before. Matter of fact, I took a buddy of mine. He's got like 3 million views on his TikTok from that one, Skinwalker Cave.
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw that video.
Yeah, I did.
Pretty intense, huh?
Oh yeah, I definitely want to go there. Definitely want to go there. 100%.
Yeah. And hi, Enoch. Thanks, buddy. Thank you for coming on. And yeah, man, we got lots of paranormal love in here tonight. Oh wow.
Definitely.
Thank you guys for coming and supporting us. I mean, wow, this is a pretty good crowd. Um, and Enoch, he's a good buddy. I met him through a friend of mine, through John. He lives on the East Coast in North Carolina, and he goes, "Yeah, you finally made it to a show." Um, but okay, so we're talking about Skinwalker Cave, and I know I'm a talker, and Kel, you're just gonna tell me shut up because I will sit here and talk and
No,
talk and
no.
talk and
Keep
talk.
going. Keep going.
Hey, now I'm gonna break you out of your shell too because you're gonna start talking before you know it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well.
you are. You are. Yeah, you will. I'm gonna open you up a little bit. But okay. So we have Skinwalker Cave, then up on the other side of the small mountain or foothill from that, there's a place called Werewolf Hill. At Werewolf Hills, where a bunch of teenagers and stuff way back in the days, they would go do bad stuff. Let's just say pentagrams and so on, and conjure stuff and blah blah blah.
Mm.
Well, there's dark stuff there from people opening stuff up that didn't know what they were doing, and it's legitimately there. It's anytime you open a door and you don't know how to close it, that stuff is here. Right? It's stuck here. It's running around and it's creating havoc. So you go up there
Yeah.
on that hill. It's pretty intense. And if you have any kind of clairvoyance about you, or any, or empath or anything like that, or any type of metaphysical properties that you deal with, it hits you. It hits you like a brick when you go to that place. Then down the road from there, going back into the mountains, there's a place called Hope, New Mexico. And it's an abandoned. It's not really an abandoned town. It's just an old town that I think there's like 500 residents there, and it's right in the middle of the desert where it becomes into the mountains. It's like at the foothills of the mountains, and it's got an old time cemetery there. And me myself personally, I don't do cemeteries because there's nothing ever good at a cemetery, in my opinion. Um, so when you go there looking for stuff, it's stuff that you 9 times out of 10 don't want to be messing with. Because when I went to this particular cemetery I'm talking about, me and my wife were walking by a tombstone, and 7, 8 foot tall black figure jumped out from it, went right across from us, right on camera, and yeah, it scared us.
That's
It
scary.
scared me. So I mean, if you go out and say you do paranormal investigating, you don't get scared, then you're not telling the truth, because we do get scared. But after I got scared and got over it, I went after it to try to figure out what it was. That's when
Right.
that's when my investigator kicked in. But before that, yeah, I mean, if there was a bathroom, I was probably going to need it. But yeah, it's Hope Cemetery. So Hope Cemetery there, and then right across it's the old Hope Sheriff's Department, or the jail. And I actually have permission to go do ghost hunts on either one of those properties. And I can go actually on and on and on, because even further than there is a place called Fort Stanton. It's been on Ghost Hunters A&E. I Cloud Crop, New Mexico. The whole place has haunted spots all in it, and it's one place that we did. I did the first Fear Fest we ever did for the Paranormal United Network, and it for those of you out there that don't know what Fear Fest is, that's our Paracon that we put on every year. So yes, this network puts on Paracons. When we did our first Fear Fest was in Cloudcrop, and Mr. George Shoplin that was in here, he was one of the guest speakers there as well. Um, but there's a place there called the Western Bar, and it's got some old cowboy spirits and stuff like that. And that was one of the bars that when Billy the Kid and all them were there, when they had the Lincoln County Wars, that was the head spot or the spot during the Lincoln County Wars. And Fort Stanton was a army military base that would police up the cowboys and the outlaws and stuff like that. And that's what those frontier forts were for. But that fort actually started in like 1865, somewhere in that area. I used to have a list that showed the years it was active and all that, and it closed down in 1995. So that was a long-running military base,
Yeah, very long.
and it turned into a lot of different things. Turned into a tuberculosis hospital. It turned it into a merchant marine base where merchant marines would go there, and right down the road is the New Mexico State Cemetery or National Cemetery for soldiers. So it's right there on that property, and that's like I said, I could
Wow.
sit here and talk to you for days about the stuff that we have. I mean, I could get in my car and go just anywhere. I mean, there's one thing that's not too far from me. It's an hour away called Marfa Lights in Marfa, Texas. If any of you guys out there ever heard of the Marfa Lights, me and my wife have
Mm.
gone there many a times, and we've seen the Marfa Lights. They're lights that bounce off the desert floor, and nobody can explain it.
Wow,
It's a phenomenon. It's
that's absolutely
I don't know if a
amazing.
lot of people call it. I don't know if they call it paranormal or just. I think it's plasmatic activity, but what it's from, what's making it, I don't know. Um, Hold on. What is the best evidence I've ever captured? Okay, so the best evidence that me personally I've ever captured, actually I didn't capture it, my wife did. But I was in the room when it happened. She was filming on one of our cameras, and we were at the Old Park Hotel, and this was her actual first paranormal experience. She panned the camera into the bathroom, and there was a face looking back into her in thin air, looking back at her in the camera, and she goes, "Oh!" but right before she panned in the bathroom, I got the spirit box in this chair, and it's pitch black. We're using infrared, which I don't even do that infrared and all that stuff anymore. But back then we did. Uh, I could see it glowing kind of with my own eyes, and I'll say you hear on the video is that you I see in the bathroom. That's when she pans to it, and that face is right there in the camera. So that was one piece, and I mean we got several other pieces. But I'm gonna turn it over to you, Kel. I've talked enough. Come on, let's hear it. Come on, let's get with it.
I mean, the best thing I've captured on film is basically is what I put it on my TikTok. We were at Nelson in Sunderland, and there was World War Two fire engines there, and I heard a noise in the corner, and so I started obviously taking photos. And when we've looked at the photos, you can actually see a World War Two fireman, like with his helmet and even his buttons on his jacket
Wow.
in the actual photo. But that's one of them. But my actual best evidence that I've seen face to face that I didn't capture was in a studio I had. But I used to have a tattoo studio, and I was painting, and basically we were waiting for a guy coming to put an alarm system in, and the music was keeps
Right.
shutting off on my phone, just shutting off for no reason whatsoever. So I went over, put it back on, and it shut off again. And then as I went to do it again, I turned around and there was a guy in the doorway, and I went, "Oh, 2 seconds, I'll be with you." Went to put the paintbrush down, and when I put the paintbrush back down, turned around, he evaporated in front of us, and that has got to be the most scariest thing I've seen in my life. And as you were saying about, obviously we're not supposed to be scared and stuff like that, I crapped my pants basically and ran out the building. And yeah, so that was one of the worst. I've got quite a few like that when I've seen things. So But that was the worst. I actually thought I was going crazy because I've never seen nothing like that before. So
Wow, that's a pretty decent. That's pretty wow. What else? I mean, I think Glenn. I don't know if that was Glenn Richardson. And he asked that question. I don't know if that was pretty much what you answered. What
yeah,
was your best evidence you captured? And hold on, let me get through some of these comments. We've got quite a few questions and stuff. Listen, I'm gonna need you to share and read your comments, sir. Hey, Chrissy. Hey, like I said, it's been a while since I've done this, so give me a break. I'll get with it. I'll get with it. I'll be the host for the most one of these days.
yeah, you do much better than me. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this, so it's pretty scary for me, but I'll get there.
Yeah, I mean you're doing great. You're doing great. So all right, so let's tell this story. So you're actually camera shy. You don't like being in front of the camera.
No, I hate being in front of the camera. I basically, the only reason that I was on TikTok for is because somebody told us that if I start doing TikTok videos, then it would help us with my camera shyness. I have actually been on a few documentaries before, so it sounds stupid that I'm so camera shy, but the reason I'm camera shy for is because I've got scars on my face of injuries I've had, so I don't like them showing up type of thing. So that's why I stay away from the camera.
Wow.
But I'm
Yeah.
doing all right, I think, so far. Anyway.
Hey, you're doing pretty good. I mean, you're talking. You could not be talking. I mean,
Yeah,
normally
that's
we're on
true.
here. I mean, cutting up and just having a good old time, and that's what we will get. We'll get that. We'll get eventually. We'll sit back. We'll have a good old time, and we'll talk about everything paranormal and all that. And Chrissy, if you think you can do a better job at doing the comments and stuff, you're more than welcome to come on, and I can
Oh,
sit you
thanks,
back in
Chrissy.
the background, and you can sit here and do it all you want there, Chrissy. She says you're doing a great job. Chrissy's
I
not.
know, I feel
All right,
that.
so Chrissy is one of our staff members for the Paranormal United Network, Paralanx, and yeah, she likes giving me a hard time, and you've seen it before how she gives me a hard time, but I give her just as much hard time back.
Yeah. There's Charlotte there that says, "What's the best EVP you've ever getting?" I can answer that one. The same studio that I was talking about before. I got the first ever paranormal investigation team in that I was on. They were in there, and the court and EVP. If a man saying shh, the reason being the music was keep turning down all the time. We used to play rock music in the studio, and you could physically see the actual like dial being turned down. There was no remote because it was an old like hi-fi type of thing.
Oh, no,
So it was
yeah.
sorry. So it was turning down. And basically we heard a man on the EVP saying shh. But it used to be an old cinema house. So the people that used to be in there there used to be like a maitre d' type of thing coming in and telling people to be quiet. So I think that's what he was from.
Yeah, we thank you, Glenn. It says you're doing great, Kill. You both are really enjoying it. Yeah, I mean, having a blast doing it. We will eventually break out of our shells, and we will give you guys a great show. And then there's that thing. Of course, he's got something to say. Well,
Thanks, Chad.
so see that right? Look right there, Kel. You're doing great. Just tell me to shut up because I won't quit talking.
No, I'd rather you kept on talking, and that just makes that me that I don't have to talk as much.
Well, see, I was hoping you would start talking so I wouldn't have to talk as much. That's
Okay,
that's
then.
what I was
So
hoping for.
I'll ask you a question then. What kind of equipment do you go out with when you go investigating?
Then or now?
For both. Tell us when you started. What you used to go out with then?
Okay, so then of course, I've been since I'm 17 years old, and I'm about to oh God, I can't believe I'm supposed to say this word. I'm about to turn 47. Right, where it comes to start down the hill.
Mm-hmm.
So about to turn 47. So when I was 17, uh, had a pretty crazy experience, and then started teams and stuff like that. So what we used back in the day was what we could find, because there was no ghost hunters on TV. There was none of that stuff. There was no. Matter of fact, I guess we would be what the pioneers in the field, because we're the ones that went to. I mean, there was books about how to ghost hunt. There was stuff like that. There was a lot of research, because I stayed in the library a lot. I stayed in the town library, just always researching something. But so when we started getting into like equipment, actually, um, an RCA recorder, like, we're talking about cassette recorder. We're not talking about digital recorder, because there was no such thing as a digital recorder back then. God, I can't believe I said back then. but but yeah, that it was digital recorder. That's how we would get EVPs on a cassette. And actually, honestly, I think if you take that old technology like that and use it today, you probably get a little bit better information from that old technology, because
Yeah.
that's a lot of spirits. I think they're kind of used to it, and see the old technology and stuff like that. But as far as like pictures and stuff like that, here in the United States, we got this massive industrial complex of a grocery store and store called Walmart. So we would go to Walmart and buy these disposable cameras. Um, the I mean, they come in a little package. I mean, you open up, take 30 pictures, and then bam, that was it. And you take them back to Walmart, and they would develop the film for you. And that's how we, you know, did our pictures, because we didn't have digital cameras back then. Um, so we kind of graduated there, like anybody does, a little bit at a time. We didn't go out and buy everything we could at one time. We didn't have the money. We were young. We were in our teens, early 20s, and stuff like that. We were, but we had a passion for this. We had stuff that piqued our interest, and we had stuff that happened to us, and we were wanting answers. So we had a passion for this, and we banded together to do what we're doing today: paranormal investigation teams, research teams, and whatever. So basically, yeah, that was the basic type equipment that we had back then: dowsing rods, stuff like that, stuff we find in books. Um, of course, you still got your sage and stuff like that for your protections. Uh, and my biggest thing is to ground yourself. I am a grounding fool, because I always end up getting something, um, not not dark, not evil, not nothing like that. Well, I mean, it could be, but could not be at the same time. But I always get these ones that want to be the big bad guy spirit, or the big bad ghost. So doing that, I have to ground myself. So
Yeah.
now, now it's all digital. So basically the same stuff we had back then, but digital. But we even go even further. So we go into like the different types of cameras and setups and stuff, the DVR systems. We go into uh, the full 8K cameras that we carry around with us now, and 10K cameras. And we are, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, but yeah, the 10K cameras and stuff that we have now, stuff like that. But here lately, because I mean, I'll be honest with you, I haven't been your good paranormal investigator. I've been working on this network for about the last 2 years, so I haven't. When I do go out and investigate and stuff like that, it's I hate to say this word, because I know you guys in England, y'all have it's kind of taboo, I guess. But so when I do go out now, it's kind of for entertainment. It's for
Right.
some type of show. It's for some type of something. So it's not it's not my team actually going out and doing research anymore. That's kind of a
Yeah.
thing in the past with me, because of where I evolved to. Um, no, don't get me wrong. I'll still go out and investigate, but when I go out and investigate now, I take myself, a light, a camera, and well, I was kind of telling you about it, because I'm the advocate for this for like many years. is the three basics. I carry the three basics with me everywhere I go. And people are like, what are the three basics? Well, I mean, this is the thing I've been preaching for the last 20 years because anything outside of this three basics is nothing but a want. In other words, you want to go spend $1,800. You want to go spend $2,000 for an SLS camera. You want to do this. So your three basics is a simple digital recorder, and I say digital because that's what's in the market nowadays is the digital recorders. You can buy some good ones real cheap and do exactly what you need to get done with it. That will get your EVPs, put it on and we all got computers now, so there's systems like Audacity and stuff like that we take up from our digital recorder, put on Audacity, enhance it, and stuff like that. So three basics is audio, visual, and environmental. Audio, visual, and environmental. So I just touched on audio. RCA recorder. Go to Walmart, buy you one. And this is what all the new investigators that come to me in the field when I hate to say the word mentor, but when I do mentor them, I mentor them into, hey, slow down, think safety first, and then when you're going out to buy all this equipment, you've got from now to the day you join the spirits you're trying to investigate to do this. It's no rush. So start out with the three basics. Little recorder. Nowadays you can go to Amazon and buy a 4K better camcorder, or I'd say camcorder, but a digital camera with SD card and all that stuff in it. Put it on your computer, and you can make some phenomenal stuff. Like like our opening. Our opening was done with a 4K camera.
Oh,
That little deal right there through a crazy hospital. So yeah, it was done, and you can do some crazy editing. And yeah, I have mad editing skills. I can go anything. But I mean that's what I do. I produce. Produce and put stuff together. Um, but let me not get off the subject because man, I'll tell you, I go sideways. I go every which way. I'll start talking about something. I go 50 different ways to write, and that's just me. And I apologize for that. That's just the way I am because I'm on something and I just want to get it out. But three basics: audio, visual, and I just gave you an example of both of those. Now, environmental device.
yeah.
Right now, and I'm going to tell you hands down, right now, the best environmental device on the market is an EDI plus. Some people call it ED, but it's EDI plus from Texas or from whatever instruments it is. I forgot the name. I should have done my research on this, but whatever instruments, they're built in Texas. But EDI plus, and the reason why, it's a data logger. It's a data logger. It's like a 5-in-1. So it gives you vibration. It gives you different fluctuations in the temperature. It gives you different. It also does kind of similar like what a REM pod does, and some other stuff. But the thing about it, you stick an SD card in that thing, and you just log it, put it on your computer, and you log your investigation. Now, here's I know they're expensive. They're $300-400 a pop, if not 500. But if you can afford to, and that's going to be when you get your four basics. The EDI Plus is going to be the most expensive piece of equipment you get, $300-400. But it's five things in one.
Yeah.
Five things in one that you would have to go buy $100-200 each. So, and not only that, it's the only device you can stick in your computer and it will log everything that you've done. So, I got some friends who did a house in Mississippi, the house in between. Brad Cooney and all them. I'm real close friends with Brad, and they have these. When you walk in that house in that documentary, the house in between, you have these stairs. So I'm saying that for an example. So if you get 4 or 5 or could afford it of these data loggers and put them like every other stair, and you put a camera down at the bottom of it, and you just watch those EDIs and see how if they go off, and especially if they go off in a succession, like one, like someone stepping down the stairs, like an actual presence. Now, if they're just going off all over the place, then that's some crazy stuff. But yeah, if you could afford them, 4 or 5 of those things to do like those type of things. And I got some friends at the old park, the people own the old park hotel. They do the same thing at their hotel. They got a big set of stairs there, but not only the stairs, they got these long hallways. So what they'll do is they'll get an EDI, put one part of the hallway, walk another 10 feet, put another one, and so on. And then you could set a camera at the end of the hallway, and you can actually watch them light up one by one. And you can watch them light up one by one going the other way, like someone's walking by. And
Wow.
then, so when you do that, if you number these EDIs, you can put that on your computer. There's your evidence right there that you got them logged, you got them numbered, and you see the succession. So there's your data that just goes into the spreadsheet that we're going to have on here. Also, that we're going to have a data control that where we're going to dump all this into, and we can put it into a graph. So move that into a graph, and there's your evidence of different things changing from a data logger. But it's expensive. So if you can't afford an EDI, which is $200-300, the next thing it's almost as close to that price, and it's my favorite is the mail meter. And if you
Yeah.
buy the new mail meter, the mail meter plus or whatever, it's like I think in American dollars, it's like $2.99 maybe, or actually I don't think it's that much. It's $1.99.
Yeah.
A mail meter, and it's got 2 or 3 different devices with it as well. So it even has a REM pod built on it, and it's got the temperature, and it's got something of the geographical flux in the room. So it's got that, and then the cheapest of the pair for $100 is a tri-fill meter. So you can go right off the bat get a tri-fill $100, and all it is a little meter. It's got it just a little thing that goes up and tells you, what kind of magnetic fields and stuff that you're walking into, and it gives you the readings on it. So you can start with that. With that, test your environment. I don't go for I don't mess with or use the um, K2s anymore. I don't even mess with the REM pods anymore, at least the ones that you buy. And the reason why is because cell phones, car fobs will interfere with it. All you gotta do is press your car fob, it'll go off.
Yeah. And mobile phones,
And it'll go off
cell
in the
phones.
direction. Yep. And yes, and especially on live streams. So if I'm doing a live stream, I got my camera and I get close to that, yes, right there, it's going to make that REM pod go off. And that's just all it is to it. So that, yeah, I don't do those anymore. But anyway, so I gave my three. Miss Kel, what do you use in the field?
Basically, we got taught the best thing that you can take with you is your camera, like your camera phone, a pen and piece of paper, and a torch. That's not what my kit
A
is though,
torch.
but I mean that's what my Obi-Wan Drew Bartley, he told me, like, that's the best things that you can take with you, because you don't need all this equipment if you're gonna obviously go looking for the paranormal and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, my piece of kit that I've got. Oh God, have you got enough time for us to go through the amount of kit that I've got? I've got like things like I have got REM pods, SP11 Spirit Box, SB11 Spirit Box. Sorry, I've got like
SB11.
yeah, I've also got an air tester, and I can't remember the actual name for it. The air quality meter to see if there's black mold in the air. I've got millimeter.
Nice,
Tell us if I'm
nice.
talking too fast, yeah, because a lot of people don't understand it. um, Basically, I've got like all the cameras. I've got an SLS camera. I've got, just trying to think of the top of my head, UV camera, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, like I say, it's just basically night vision cameras. I've
But
also I've got experiments as well that no other team has got. They were made by Drew, the old team member. So
right.
I've acquired them off him because he no longer uses them. So I don't really want to say exactly what they are because I'm scared in case somebody will nick the idea and try and make them for themselves.
Well, I'll
I
tell
know
you
that
what.
sounds
All right,
selfish.
so you got things that you do over there, and you're talking about, and then I got things that I do over here that we do like experiments wise, because we do like the double Estes method. I'll get my wife and someone else and put them in different directions, but both listen to the same spirit box. But see, all right, Joshua Dixon brought up a great point. He said he can't stand live stream investigations that use the phone apps. I tend to agree with him.
Hmm.
I agree with him because those are programmed. They are programmed. They're in your phone. It's just, I mean, yeah, but who's to say they can't be manipulated? I can't say they can't. But I can't say they can. I just
Yeah.
know that the stuff that we got on the internet now, like even Facebook, you sitting at your house and you're talking about something. The next thing you know, you got 50 ads about what you're talking about. Come on now.
Yeah.
So how's that? Maybe that app's going to work the same way. Through an
Hmm.
algorithm. So,
Yeah.
but me myself, when I use Spirit Box, I use uh, the actual real deal. The one I did was the Radio Shack hack and the SB7. I like the SB11. I like that you can go both ways or on both sides because it's two SB7s in one is what it is. But you can go forward and back sweep. So
Yeah.
yeah, we use on our teams we use Spirit Box. And I was going to ask you, is that what you do too on the Spirit
Yes,
Boxes, or
that.
do you use apps?
I don't use apps. I don't know. There's something about them I don't trust. I mean, like you say, it could be like just the algorithm and that, but I just find as though I don't know that the two. I mean, like some of them will say there's a ghost in front of you and stuff like that, and it's like, how do they know? You know what I mean? It's like the mobile phones. They're not meant to be doing that sort of job, if that makes sense. So I just don't like them. I'd
Yeah,
rather
yeah,
just use
I
the
get it.
actual equipment that was made for that reason.
Right. So when I brought up so later episodes of different stuff that we do, different experience. Like I said, I do that. I had some friends of mine that showed me how to do a human pendulum. So, and then I know that you said you had people and y'all do things a certain way. Y'all do different experiments a certain way, and then like you said, your team member has that experiment. So, audience, that's the thing. On later episodes, we'll get into these experiments. We'll get into this type of paranormal stuff that tools that we use. We'll get into. I mean, we may have a whole episode just about how Kel, um, I don't know, runs up and down castles through fences. I don't know, but we'll figure it out.
Chrissy, by the way, I don't use dowsing rods. I do use pendulums. Well, I have done in the past, but I don't use the rods. No.
All right. So yeah, future episodes we'll talk about those things. We'll break it. Matter of fact, we'll put our two minds together and figure it out. A matter of fact, we may even bring pictures and stuff on here and try to figure it out, and then get the audience
Yeah.
and you know and see if or if we can find stuff that's like doppelganger stuff, like stuff that happens in the United Kingdom and stuff that happens in the United States, but it's the same thing, and you're like, oh, put it together and like, wow, why, why? But yeah, that type of stuff. Or I guess the topic that you've been trying to get off about me the whole time is I live around Roswell.
Yes. I've always wanted to go there. Uh, I'm just
Tell
so jealous that you live there. It's like I would never be away from the place.
Yeah, I live an hour from Roswell, so. Yeah. But I was telling Kel, there's nothing there except you see behind me. See my green man? That's Roswell. It's it. Those are
Yeah.
everywhere. I mean, they got restaurants that are made with green men, like something else. But the crash sites itself, they're. I mean, you can't get on them, and if you do get on one, you can't find anything. So, but oh man, we got 5 minutes. Can you believe that? 5 minutes. We've been here like
Wow.
wow. Well, we right at an hour. I actually want to go longer.
Yeah, but you've talked most
And
of the
Kel's like,
time.
no,
So
I know. Told you I'm a talker. You're going to have to tell me to shut up. You're just going to have
no,
to tell
no,
me to shut
I
up.
keep going, keep going.
Yeah, just like you said, the more I talk, you don't have to talk. That's
Yeah,
not
exactly.
fair.
I'm getting there though. I mean, I am coming out my shell a little bit now, so a little bit too late. Like it's only got like
Yeah,
5 minutes.
yeah, yeah. 5 minutes. Now you're going to start talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chad Candy said I came from Roswell. Oh, okay, that's funny. Yep, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, all right. So Chad, let me tell you this. All right, I didn't come from Roswell, but my daughter's son, my grandson, was born in Roswell, so we call him the alien.
Oh, poor child. Oh,
So,
that's
yep.
cruel.
Uh, Hi Tim Coomer. Hey buddy, how you doing, man? Glad you showed up. And hey, you caught us right at the. You caught us. I don't know what, like 7 minutes in, or like I don't know. We got 4 minutes left.
I'm just trying to find out. Oh yeah, there's the time.
Yeah, it's on the top.
Yeah, I
But
know. It's
yeah,
just
we just
like
kind of
having to
breezed
look
through
in
that.
two different directions at the same time.
Right. And I mean, I'm sorry, Chrissy Baggett. My comments over here are blown up. I can't keep up with them. I just can't. I just can't. So, oh yeah, Tim said he just got home. Yeah, it's all right. So our show over here in the United States is at 5 p.m. and that's when a lot of people are just now getting home or still at work. So yeah, and then over where you're at, it is close to midnight. It's like an hour
Yeah,
before midnight. So it's kind of on two broad time links for sure.
definitely. It's like nearly my bedtime now, anyway. And you're just probably going to go and get your like dinner or something like that. This dinner at you, isn't it? Or is it lunch or is it tea?
I it is dinner, supper,
Dinner. Yeah.
supper,
Right.
supper.
We
So
call it tea.
yeah, because tea, supper, tea.
Tea. No, just we'll call it tea, but people in America seem to think like we're going to be drinking tea and eating scones, but it's dinner. Confusing.
See, but yeah, I know. See, that's what I would think. I mean, yeah, that's another reason we got this show because you're gonna teach us your culture.
Oh God, I'm going to teach
You're
us how
gonna
to speak
teach.
Geordie.
I can't wait. I can't wait. It's definitely interesting. But
Yeah.
me, I have the Southern American accent. We have Chrissy who has an Indiana accent. I'm sure Tim probably.
Hmm.
Tim kind of sounds Southern, even though he lives in Indiana. I've never heard Joshua before. Courtney, she's from New York. Do I need to say more? Um, Chad, that's on here. He is from Florida, but he's from Texas, so he has a Texas accent and living in Florida. And Florida has pretty much a northern accent and southern mixed together. It's we're so our accents over here are so crazy. But that fascinates me because you guys have the same thing going over in England. So
Yeah.
us Americans have this perception that you all talk one way. No, you don't.
Yeah,
You talk
you all
50
think
different
we
ways.
talk Cockney, which is like London accent, and we certainly don't. Yeah, we have quite a
Right.
few different like dialects. So
Man, I tell you what. All right, we've done our 1 hour. This is a show, and we'll be back next week. And man, we'll talk about more stories. And I just want to thank every one of you supporters for coming in here and supporting us starting a new show and actually giving us your support. And Nikki from Australia, that's my buddy there. She's just coming here from Australia. I want to thank you too. I mean, we got people from all over the world in here. It's not just America. It's not just UK. It's Australia. It's Canada. It is Japan. All over the world in here. I mean, how much more united can you be than that? But
yeah,
Kelly, I want you to close up the show. We're done. Let's wrap it up.
Okay. Well, I would just want to say thank you to everybody, and thanks for putting up with us being quiet. Hopefully I'll come up with Michelle soon. Actually, I'll promise. Yeah, I'll definitely will. And hope to see you all next week. So take care, stay safe.
Absolutely. All right. See you next week. Thank you guys. Thank you everybody for coming in.
Bye bye.